Hey guys, welcome to another episode. So today what I thought, right, is since I bought these two cars in the previous episode, as I said, I will be working on them on this episode. So there's a lot of things that I need to do, right? But I was thinking of not tuning them, not working on the performance of the car, just working on the aesthetics, how the cars look, and just pretty much being creative and seeing what I like. But however, I like simple things, so I don't usually do those vinyl things that everyone else does. A lot of these guys do it so that they can be able to sell the cars and all those things. So personally, I don't usually sell cars, so I just prefer to create a car that I personally like. So I prefer for the cars to be very clean and simple. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing on these cars. And so it's gonna be a little bit interesting because it's a bit of trial and error here and there, and I will be speeding through some of the shots because we don't want to make the episode like an hour long, because it did take me probably over an hour to work on both cars, which is, it's not bad. So I suppose there's a love of a content creator whereby you have to spend a lot of time doing something and then just cut all of it off for the sake of the video to not be too long, because I spent over an hour creating this and the video is like 12 minutes long. So yeah, I guess that's it. So yeah, as you can see with the tires, right, I'm having a bit of a problem. I feel like I'm not really liking the color. Maybe if I buy some of the other accents of the color, the chrome and all those things, maybe, and the matte, maybe if I buy those ones, the colors might be interesting to me, but I don't really find them as interesting, honestly speaking. So right now what I'm going to be doing is, as you can see, I'm just going fast through all of them. I'll be adjusting the tire sizes, the fitments of the tires, changing the color of the car, basically just doing everything, working the suspension, so that the car is as I like it. The downside, however, with the suspension settings on CPM2 is compared to CPM1, when you're busy adjusting the settings, you're not exactly seeing the car, and you cannot adjust the settings in a camera angle that is comfortable, right? So in CPM1, you put your camera angle at, let's say, the front right wheel, for example, and then you adjust your suspensions accordingly, and you see everything as it changes, all the changes as they happen. Unfortunately, on this game, that's not what is happening, which is a bit of a problem, right? Because it usually means that you're actually changing the car blindly. You're not really sure of what you're doing, which personally does kind of annoy me. But yeah, this is the color that I chose. It looks pretty good. Simple, basic, as I said. Obviously you gotta have the plates. Unfortunately, on CPM2 you only have the plates on one car, not all of them. So whenever you want to drive a car with the plates on, you have to make sure that before you go on a drive, you go to the settings, go to the vinyls, and then make sure that the plates are on that particular car. I don't know why they removed this feature, but it's kind of weird. I liked it in CPM1 because all my cars would have the same plate, and it's pretty fine. You change cars, you don't worry about the plates. But then on this one, I had to worry. I have to worry. The other thing is doing maintenance of the cars. I try to make sure that every time I do something to the car, make sure it's up to date. So as you can see here, However, I came across this picture while scrolling on the internet, right? And I just couldn't stop myself. I was like, come on, man, come on. It looked good. I like the green, I like the black roof. I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I changed everything. I had to change the plans that I had. The ones that I found difficult, however, were the rims. The rims were a little bit difficult, so I just ended up going with something that seemed to be good enough for me, color wise and all those things. The other thing is the roof. Instead of being black, it's a bit brownish, coffee like color. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's the reflection, or it might be forgot the settings on the second part of the settings. But yeah, I think it might be those kind of things whereby you find that there's an original color of the car, but then there are also reflection and all that. The settings that were there in CPM1 when it comes to the colors, they're not there, they're not here in CPM2. I'm not really sure why, but I think that's why the roof is a bit goldish brownish. So I got that picture, and I think it's IND Distributions Don't really know much about them. I just came across it on Google, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going for it. And yeah, so now we're looking at the performance of the car. As you can see, now it's pulling in like 300 horsepower, which, yes, it's not bad. It's pretty it's pretty good. But I wanted to pull out more power, but then without really modifying the car heavily. So what I did was get a different turbo. So it's using a bi-turbo system, which is twin turbo. Sorry, I went for the JDW turbo charge. On retrospect, right, I don't think it was the best decision that I made. The twin turbo was really good in performance. Launching was perfect, right? There was no the turbo lag was not too much. However, the turbo lag on this single turbo, this big turbo, is really massive. The car sounds amazing. The car performs okay, but the turbo lag is really disappointing. But yeah, as you can see, it gave me more power. So now I just have to do the adjustments, the air to fuel ratio, the boost control of the turbo, and then you just pull out even more power. So yeah, as I said, I want to keep things basic, so that's why I didn't really aim to push this car to like 600, 700, 800 horsepower. I just want to keep it as simple as it is, right? And yeah, it's doing pretty good, yeah. So but yeah, as you can see, now we're adding fuel. As I said, I like to service all my cars whenever I get a chance. So now it's giving a little bit of fuel, and giving it a bit of a wash instead of going to the car wash. So it's a waste of money, but it's a game. You make a lot of money in the game, so it's not really a big deal. So what we're going to be doing right now, right, is we're going to be test driving the car and basically just see how it looks on the outside, and enjoy the sounds and all those things, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to leave you guys to it for you guys to enjoy the sound that the M2 produces, which is, believe you me, sounds really mint. And you'll also notice the turbo lag that I was talking about. So yeah, we'll talk to you in a minute. So yeah, that's as you saw, the performance of the car is pretty good. It's good enough, it's okay, and it sounds really good. But yeah, to our second car, our Audi RS7. I don't know if it's the performance model, I don't know, doesn't look like the performance model. Wait, are they called performance? Yeah, I think it's called performance. Yeah, I don't know, but either way, yeah, the Audi RS7, which also needs a lot of work. I'm not gonna be buying with the coins. I might do that in the later videos in future, but for now I just want to keep everything stock, work on getting all the cars that I possibly can, maybe let's say in the next month or two, right? And then we can then come back and work on all of them. Yeah, so same thing with the BMW. I also came across this picture on motor1.com. I just googled it and came across it, which was quite interesting. So I'm also trying to replicate the same thing with Audi, right, to just build up that car. I was a little bit undecisive with the rims of the car because I wanted to get the exact ones as that car, And yes, I think I kind of found them, but then they're not exactly, you know, like that, so it became a bit of a problem. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing the same thing, adjusting the, you know, the tire sizes and all those things, and also, you know, working on the color, making sure that everything just looks exactly as I wanted. On this car, however, I will not be changing the suspension settings. I prefer not to change a lot of the settings, because what happened is I like it when it rolls over a little bit, you know. It just, the suspension, stock suspension is just meant, so I didn't really do a lot of work on the suspension. I just kind of adjusted and lowered it down a little bit, and also changed the front wheel's camber, so that it's, you know, more negative, I suppose. So yeah, that's all I did, you know, just for better control and, you know, agility, and that's it. And then I came again doing the same thing of trying to, you know, pull out more power out of the car. On this one, I didn't really do a lot, you know, pretty much the same thing I did in the BMW basically. So now, as you can see, we're still testing, producing 473 horsepower. Didn't check the top. So yeah, doing the same thing. We have to come check the turbos. That's what I wanted, to see if we can get better turbos. Unfortunately, we don't have other turbos on this engine. I'll have to buy a different engine, I suppose, to get the turbos. So I just, you know, let it go. Okay, fine, since I can get it, and it's pulling, like, it's rated at 2.3 bars, which is very, very high, so I suppose it doesn't really matter, right? So yeah, I just, you know, increase the boost pressure to the maximum, which is like, yeah, 2.6 bars, as you can see, and then it gave me 548 horsepower, right? And then again, work on the fuel fuel ratio to, you know, give us a little bit more power. Yes, again, in the future, in some future videos, we might come back, change everything about the car, you know, improve its performance, maybe like over 1,000 horsepower, which how far we can get it. We'll see. And the same thing with this car, you know, check on the maintenance. It looks fine, you know, I don't really have to give it a wash, I don't really have to get any kind of gas. Looks good enough. So yeah, did the same thing. You know, supposed to test it, but I realized, you know what, the video is long enough already, so we're gonna be doing that in the next video. But as you can see, we have now 7 cars, if I'm not mistaken, 4th and then 5th, 6th. Yeah, we have 7 cars in total, which is, you know, I kind of like it. So yeah, we'll be doing something else in the next episode. So yeah, just subscribe, leave a comment at the bottom, and then yeah, see you next time.